Namaste. Can you hear me? Okay. So I'm very happy to welcome you all for our fourth session of a subject-based study of Bhagavad Gita. We started with charity. Charity is the highest human value and virtue, which is a manifestation of generosity and our victory on our negative qualities of greed and selfishness. Then we discussed about mind, where all these divine as well as negative qualities reside and operate from. So we saw mind, we discussed different parts, and so that is manas, chitta, we call, and so then intellect, memory, willpower, subconscious mind, those things we discuss. These takes us all the way to the back screen, that where the soul is, which is a powerhouse, which enlightens or which provides the energy to intellect as well as mind. So that to understand that we need a Shraddha, so we discuss Shraddha. And in Shraddha, Lord Krishna gave several instructions and slokas in Bhagavad Gita, and the most profound one is Lord said, Shraddhavan labhate gnanam tatpara sanyatendriya gnanam labdhva param santim chirena adhigacchati. So only man of faith, Shraddhavan, one who is endowed with faith, Shraddhavan labhate gnanam, attains knowledge. Shraddhavan labhate gnanam. Every word of Lord Krishna is so precise and so powerful. Shraddhavan labhate gnanam. Tatpara, one who is devoted to Tat means God. Tatpara. Sanyatendriya, one who is in control of his mind and senses. Tatpara sanyatendriya. Gnanam labdhva param santim chirenadi gacchati. And after attaining that knowledge, what happens? You get a param santi, not an ordinary santi, bliss. You get a bliss, param santi. Achirena adhigacchati. Chirena means long time. Achirena means not so long time, soon. So the man of faith in scripture and God's word, gets the true knowledge which brings eternal bliss and peace. And that's what we are looking for. We are not looking for ordinary, just a peace or ordinary happiness. No. So unless we understand this and try ourselves, so Shraddhavan labhate gnanam tat para sanyatendriya gnanam labdhva param santim chirena adhigacchati. At the same time, Lord says that agnascha asraddhadhanascha sansayatma vinasyati. But man who is agnas means who doesn't know. Agnas means he has no idea about the higher values of spiritual, or he is not interested also. Agnascha. Asraddhadhanas. On the top of that he has no Shraddha. Asraddhadhanascha. Sansayatma. And on the top of that he is doubter. That these scriptures, when did it happen? Is Lord Krishna telling right? Ved Vyas is telling right? Or these gurus are telling right? So they have doubt. Right, wrong, no. So they cannot grasp it. So agnascha, sraddhadanascha, sansayatma vinasyati, nayam loko asti, na paro, na sukham sansayatma. What happens to that? Not here in this life or this birth, or hereafter. Such a person cannot be happy, and we all want to be happy. So we better have faith in the scriptures, faith in the higher values, faith in God, faith in ourselves, and if we put all these things together, then it is possible to get an eternal peace. So we already are approaching towards the soul, permanent knowledge, bliss. So what is that characteristic of the soul? So that is unborn, everlasting, permanent peace, without any attributes, without any it is stainless. It is just happiness. It has a three characteristics. Sat, Chit and Anand. Sat means eternal existence, means it was always there, will always be there. So Sat, Chit, it is the nature of consciousness. No, so it just provides our awareness, consciousness, inside as well as outside. Sat, Chit and Anand, and it is full of bliss. You cannot have, it's like a sun, you cannot have darkness near sun, near Atman, you cannot have unhappiness or sorrows. So if we can approach step by step towards our goal of self-realization, which is same as God realization, because we are part and parcel of God. So self-realization you say, or God realization, it is the same thing. So what we are complaining and what we are talking about, happiness and sorrows, they are not characteristic of our real self. They are the attributes of mind and intellect. We aligned ourselves with that mind, intellect and body and created an entity called ego. So that ego is the reason that we feel temporarily happy, temporarily unhappy, temporarily satisfied, unsatisfied, feel good, bad, and do the whole exercise. But if we can go beyond that towards the soul, and that happens, how does it happen? By inquiry. No? So there is a very beautiful sloka in Atma Bodh. It's sloka number 30 in Atma Bodh. No? So where it says Nisidhya Nikhilopadi. Nisidhya Nikhilopadi Neti Neti iti Vakyatah Vidyat Ekyam Mahavakye Jivatmano Paramatmane. So Nisidhya means negating. You negate that no, I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not this. Nisidhya Nikhilopadi, all costumes. It's like in winter you go outside and you have 10 clothes one by one, and it's freezing cold, and when you come home and then you take one by one out, like that if you take out the layers from our mind, then you see the Atman, or you feel. It's not going to, we are going to get vision, but at least you will not have any doubt about that Atman, and you will enjoy that. So there's a Nisidhya Nikhilopadi Neti Neti iti Vakyata Vidyat Ekyam. Vidyat means no. Vidyat Ekyam means unity. Vidyat Ekyam Mahavakya. What is a Mahavakya? Tattvamasi. You are that. You are God. So then you will get this establishment in that Mahavakya. No? So Vidyat Ekyam means have unity with that truth. Vidyat Ekyam Mahavakya Jivatmana Paramatmana. So these once that happens, then no sorrow can come near us. No, because other sorrows are the costumes of mind and intellect. If happiness and sorrow, it is attached to our mind. Somebody insults me and somebody awards me, that is attached to my intellect. Other things are attached to your senses. So your victory, defeat, election jeet gaye, election haar gaye, all those things are affecting the mind. They are the decorations of the mind. They are the baggages of the mind and intellect, not of Atman. So if we can make this journey one by one, trying to understand, then we can get closer and closer to the truth. Now Lord Krishna explains to Arjuna. Arjuna was in a much worse circumstances than any human being can be. He did not want all the whatever he was going to get by fighting. No, so that he says, I would rather be a beggar, and I don't want to kill my brothers and sisters and grandfathers and teachers and to whom I owe so much. And why Lord, you are pushing me to do this such a dirty work? So he was totally against. He was a very, very advanced soul. But he was still a human being. He was not a god. So God explains to him that, okay. Then he explains very nicely in the second chapter where the Bhagavad Gita starts. So, so Lord says, this is one sloka before the today's sloka, and that is Dehi no yasmin yatha dehe Komaram yovanam jara tatha dehantar praptihi dhira tatra namoyate. Arjuna, Dehino yasmin yatha de. Dehino means the one who is residing inside. Dehino. So it means your soul. Dehino yasmin yatha dehe komaram yovanam jara. It passes through the three different stages. You understand that? That is childhood. I was the same Dr. Choksi in the childhood, youth, and in old age. Dehino yasmin yatha dehe komaram yovanam jara tatha dehantar praptihi tira tatra namohati. Similarly, you understood three very clearly because you have gone through and you see. But the fourth one you start doubting me. I am telling you, you will get a new body. So that is the truth. Whether you doubt it or not, you will get it. Whether I understand law of gravity or not, if I jump from a window, I will break my leg. So once we die, we will get birth. That is the law of the nature. This you don't understand. Maybe someday science will also figure it out. There are a lot of scientific work that done that in that field also. So Dehino yasmin yatha dehe komaram yovanam jara tatha dehantar praptihi dhira tatra namoyate. So Arjuna, you should not worry that you kill them, you get killed. No problem. He tells them, no, hato va prapsese swargam jitva bhoksese mahim tasmat uttishta konte yuddhaya kruta nischaya. If you are killed, you will get the heaven, and if you survive, you will be a king here, and you will be enjoy this. So there is no. So that's why Lord tells him another sloka there. No, samma dukkha sukha swastha. No, means you remain balanced in both. Sukha dukkha same krutva. He tells him, no, sukha dukkha same krutva labha labho jaya jayo tato yuddhaya yujyasva nevam papam vapsasi. Sukha dukkha same krutva. No difference. Labha, labho, labh, alabh. Jaya, jayo, victory, defeat. See the dvandas? So these pairs, opposite pairs. Jaya, jayo. Tato yuddha yujyasva nevam papam vapsasi. And then this sloka for today comes, and then he says, but the Lord, what should I do when I'm existing here, and okay, I understood that I'll get another birth, but I have to live this life. That's why Lord says the next sloka, which is the first sloka of the day today, Matra sparsastu kunteya sittoshna sukha dukkha agma painyo anitya tanti tiksasva bharata. Beautiful sloka. Matra sparsastu kunteya sittoshna matra sparsastu kunteya sittoshna sukha dukkha agma painyo anitya tanti tiksasva bharata. Like always, we will go word by word. Matra sparsastu kunte. Matra means sense object. Word comes from a measurement. Matra means a sense object. No, this is the object, and my touch recognizes, my eyesight recognizes it. So matra. So sense object and senses. It can be touch or any of the five senses. So matra sparsastu kunte, Arjuna. These sense objects and senses, matra sparsastu kunte sittoshna sukha dukkha. They are of the nature of sittoshna. Sital means cold, ushna means garam. Sittoshna sukha dukkha. They are of the nature of giving you pain and pleasure. They have capacity to do both. Sittoshna sukha dukkha. Agma painyo anitya. They are of the nature of coming and going. They are not going to stay with you. Even if it is a pleasant thing, it is not going to be pleasant. If there is a prolonged contact, no. Matra sparsastu kunteye sittoshna sukha dukkha agma painyo anitya, and they are transient. They are not going to be with you. Tanti tiksasva bharata. Therefore, try to put up with them, try to live with that, try to bear it. Titiksha is a beautiful word, very powerful word. Titiksha means, It's like in COVID, we are locked in. Everybody has to stay, or out of scare, or out of laws, or whatever. But titiksha is putting up with the adversities with a smile, without any complaint. So that is called titiksha. So titiksha is a very beautiful quality that God wants us to develop. And Acharya Shankaracharya in Vivek Chudamani defines titiksha as sahanam sarva dukkhanam. Sahanam sarva dukkhanam apratikar purvakam. Chinta vilap rahitam sa titiksha nigadyate. Sahanam sarva dukkhanam. Difficulties came. Okay. Whether you cry or you complain, but you will have to bear it. But titiksha is you are bearing it with a smile. So sahanam sarva dukkhanam apratikar purvakam means no, you are not fighting with it. That we have to stay at home. Okay, so I will stay at home. What's the big deal? Pratikar purvakam. Chinta vilap rahitam. You are not worried, nor you are lamenting. Chinta vilap rahitam sa titiksha nigadyate. That is called titiksha, Arjuna. Means I am comfortable. Now if I have to stay for 5 days or 50 days, it doesn't matter. I am not complaining that, oh, I am not able to go to Atlantic City or go to Broadway show or go and do. No, circumstances are not under your control. Nothing is under your control, okay? So you will have to suffer, whether you complain, cry, or whatever you want to do. You want to get depressed at home, that is no. If you are emotionally labile, such people will get depressed easily. That, oh, what am I going to do? I'm locked in. So you don't want to go through that. So that's why we have to have our own defenses very powerful, so that any circumstances you can deliver. Okay, God. So okay, I have to stay home. So then develop your other hobbies. Do business from home. Figure it out. We are figuring it out. So, but use those talent now to your advantage without crying. How did we figure it out? Because some minds worked on it and they figured it out. And then we are using all those technology as well as those suggestions. No? But more we understand that, easier it gets. Develop your hobbies, read books, do whatever. There are 1,000 things you can do. But if you decide to complain about it, the same situation will feel much worse, will depress you 10 times. So that is to your advantage. So that is a titiksha, no? So matra sparsastu devi, so matra sparsastu kunti, sittoshna sukudukda, agma painyo anitya tan titiksha svabharada. Because these we have to do it, because the sorrows are going to come. God says, this life is full of sorrows. No, you are fool that you did not understand. The ratio is 10 to 1. You will get 10 sorrowful events, 1 little happiness. You work for 10 hours in your office or whatever business you are doing, you are going up and down, you are sacrificing so much for 1 hour of good time. No? So 10 to 1 ratio is there. And that also is not definite for you. So there can be sorrows from so many different areas it can come. That's why God says dukkhalayam asasvatam. This world is a dukkhalayam. It is a storehouse. It's a warehouse full of dukkhas. Dukkhalayam asasvatam. That is the world that you are roaming around with some hope of finding some pieces of happiness here and there. So that's why it becomes difficult. And these sorrows will come from different sources. So there are 3 main sources the sorrows come from. One is adhyatmic, means from your body. Diseases of your body, diseases of your mind. You get a fracture and you get a sprain or any kind of diseases. So pertaining to the body. Adhyatmic. Adhibhautik means somebody else will create a problem for you. You get a scorpion bite or a snake bite, or it doesn't happen here, but a dog bite or something. So from outside, adhibhautik. And Adidevik means disasters like tsunamis, too much rain, drought, fire, California fire, and now this COVID. Nobody invited COVID, but it came. The natural disaster, which cost us so much lives, but it was not under our control. So these are the three categories of sorrows it can come. Not only this, there is 3 big 6-inch pipes in our life. No, so God says that will also bring sorrows to you. What is that? Says that is your old age, old age, disease, jara marana moksha, means your old age, your disease will come from somewhere or the other. So that is a janma. There is a beautiful sloka we are going to do today. Janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha doshan darshanam. So janma we can't help; it is already done. Mrityu, you are on a pending line. Mrityu, jara means old age, vyadi means disease. So these are 6 inches pipes which can bring the flood anytime. We don't know. Tomorrow I am going to be diagnosed with some cancer or not, I don't know. I might fall down on the stairs and get a cerebral hematoma or something. Means disease is unpredictable. Life is unpredictable, means next day is not predictable. So that's why he says it's a very labile. Life is very, very important and precious. At the same time, it is very labile. So that is a third problem. And old age, whether you want or not, the time is clicking. So old age will come with all its disabilities and deformity. So these are all the sources. So chances that we can be happy amongst these outside difficulties and sources of pain and inherent related to body, chances that we will be significantly happy for a longer time is very small. Some saints say it is like you are counting on a steady income from gambling. That I will go to Atlantic City on gambling, I will make, and that will be my steady income. No stupid man thinks about that. But in life we get full. So and then we keep searching because we don't know anything better. No, that's why God says that first you have to be dissatisfied with the current life. That okay, so many problems and so much headache, so I want to explore divinity. God says that explore divinity. I'm telling you, the joy is inside. Joy and happiness is an inside job. It's not an outside job. But we, because our senses are always directed outside, so we started searching that okay, maybe the joy is in a Pizza Hut, or no, in an ice cream parlor, no, it's in the movie, no, it's in Bahamas, no, in Bermudas. We made it all kind of, we explored that, no. But that all those things cannot satisfy you, cannot make you feel life is fulfilled, because we are all sparks of divinity, and divinity, the characteristic of divinity is ananda. So unless we get that pure ananda or bliss, we will be searching here and there, and that we get old, and then funeral comes and you say goodbye, and God says then you will be going here and there. Unless you get a divine knowledge and you merge with me, this cycle is not going to stop at any time. So these are the rules of God. So we have to put up with that, and but willingly, happily, and God says, God shows us the path. So let's see if we can figure it out. So the next sloka is from chapter 13, 8th sloka, no? So Indriya Artheshu Vairagyam. How do you do that? So God shows us the tricks, in Bhagavad Gita. It's not that He has left us halfway. So Indriya Artheshu Vairagyam. First He said that okay, all these your headaches are not yours, because you are not mind, you are not intellect. So why do you borrow that? It's like I'm carrying somebody else's baggages to India, So it is not your baggage. So get rid of it, So that is the knowledge that we have to acquire and implement. So Indriya Arthesu Vairagyam, beautiful sloka. Indriya Arthesu Vairagyam Anahankaram evacha. So Anahankaram evacha Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi Dukkha Doshanudarsanam. How do you do that? So Indriya Arthesu Vairagyam means Vairagya means dispassion to the objects of senses. So first we developed the attachment. Now God says develop detachment. Indriya Artheshu is a living and non-living. If you are attached to the car, give up that attachment. If you are attached to a house, give up that attachment. So Indriya Artheshu Vairagyam. Vairagyam means detachment. Word comes from Viraga. Raga means color, really. So colorful. We means devoid of raga. Means Vairagya means you want to be unconcerned about that. Indriya Artheshu Vairagyam Anahankaram evacha. And second thing you do, just give up your ego. If you give up your ego, then you are free. So only thing which comes between you and God is your ego. So Anahankaram evacha. So give up your ego. What is ego? The aham karo miti ahankara. I am doing it, that is ahankara. I am doing it, I am enjoying it, I am suffering. Wherever the word I comes, that is ego. I, mine or me. So these three, and here we are teaching children, oh, this is my book and this is I just have faith in. No, your faith will take you very little. It won't take you too far. No. So stronger the ego, more the pain. So stronger attachment, more the pain. So that's why God says anahankaram evacha. Janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha doshanudarsanam. And every day meditate on these things. What? Janma mrityu jara vyadi. That disease is going to come, old age is going to come, and death is going to come. Anudarshana means repeatedly think about it. God is telling us, if you do that, then you will have a dispassion for the life itself in 5 minutes. Dukkha doshanu darshanam. So if you do this, then you will understand that the pain becomes much less. First of all, the knowledge comes. If I think that this thing can happen, when it happens, it is less jolting. But if you don't think and you are roaming around and suddenly you get sick or something, you will be in disaster. These I knew, these can come, these will, and if you are prepared and if you have a real knowledge, then you could care less. No, this disease is not mine. This is a disease of my body. This thing is not mine. This attachment is in the mind. So anahankaramiva janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha doshanudarsanam. All the problem comes because of attaching I. The people say, what is the difference between animal and us? That we are very intelligent and very, very sharp intellect, and yes, that is. But the most important difference is that animals don't have ego, and we have ego, plenty of it. One cow does not feel that the another cow is prettier, or she is eating more, or she has got this grass field and I did not get it. Animals don't have ego. That's why they roam like in their. They need their basic needs, and after that they don't want a cent more. No tiger is killing 10 people for no rhyme or reason. When they are hungry, that is the nature of that. So that beast will do that. But they don't have, and here human being is not hungry and he has $1 million, he will take another 500 million in that. These big scandals we hear, that 5,000 crores, we can't write down, and still people do it, So there's a product of ego. So if you do not have ego, you won't do it. That's why God says, anahankaram evacha, just give away your faults, and that's also delusionary. Babies don't have ahankar. We saw that before. That it comes at around 2 years. We have pediatricians, very brilliant pediatricians. They know much more than we know. So ego comes up to the age of 2.5. Children are very, very pleasant and very divine because their ego is not still developed. But then as they grow 5, 6, 7, 8, and the same kids become difficult, because the ego develops and then the trouble starts. And sometimes society promotes, we promote, and God knows that's a very big problem. But God says, don't bring your ego. Anahankaram. So how can you live without ego? No. Let's develop a good ego. So aham bhavna, no. As aham bhavna, you convert it into das bhavna. So you become a servant of God. So you still have a powerful ego that, okay, I am very powerful ego. I will do everything, but I am servant of God. So that selfish ego, you replaced it with divine ego. Selfish desires that, I want to make 10 million, 20 million, 50 million, make as much as you want, but I want to make it so that I can use it for others and I can use it for good cause. That becomes a divine. Same activity becomes divine. I have a big name, or I am a senator and I want to be very helpful people. Okay, you are in the best position, do it. But unfortunately, people in positions, they have nothing to do with divinity. They are worried about this election and next election. And then they manipulate their own self. So they are a bunch of confusions. So, but God doesn't want us to, because God has to run His show. So He is telling you the right way. So take away and people who want to go in this path, they will do it. So okay, from today I'm servant of God. So once you become a servant of God, then God says, I'm your master, I will take care of everything. So that all your needs are taken care of, because you are working not from IBM or Merck or something, you are working for Lord Almighty. So He will take care of all those things, So anahankaram evacha janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha doshanu darshanam. So first we develop a lot of attachment to worldly things. We did it, by meditating on the objects. If we don't meditate on objects, they don't bother. So there are so many beautiful cars on the street, it doesn't bother you. But if you meditate on a particular thing and then you want, and that also won't bother you, but then you want to acquire it, then it's the problem. That's where your ego comes from. So they give a beautiful example. There is I don't know how much time we have, but it doesn't matter. So there was one group of people, they heard about a beautiful rose garden in India. And the whole tourist went there, said that there's a garden like this does not exist anywhere. So then in the tourists there were 30-40 people. So the beautiful roses, all kinds of yellow roses, white roses, bright roses, and it was so nice. But the same garden, all the tourists saw it differently. There were tourists who were with the divine qualities or sattvic gunas. They saw that, oh my God, look at the rose, is so nice, so beautiful. It has all three qualities. It smells so good, it feels so good, and it looks so good. And I said, what a divine thing, what a God master has made. It is so beautiful. And then such a person, then he roamed around in different areas and enjoyed. There were some with Rajasic qualities. And then they roamed around and said, oh my God, this is a beautiful roses. No, this is not found anywhere in the world. If I take these roses and I start import-export business, I can make multi-million dollars. So same roses he saw as a commerce, that and then he called the security guard and says, no, I can make you partner, can you help me, and all kinds of willing dealing he started. The third one was tamasic, so he was damaging the roses. He took a couple of them for his wife or daughter or whatever, and then he asked the security guy and said, okay, what time this closes, and the garden closes, I will give you $500, and he gave him an advance payment, and he says, okay, if you can get me a truckload of these roses, then I'll make you partner. And so that was a tamasic. Same roses, same garden, same wood. So we see the world very differently. We all see the world very differently. I just want to mention here, we are talking about Lord Krishna and Shankaracharya, and they are in distant past, or we might have doubt. We can talk about the recent philosopher, Arthur Schopenhauer. No, I can't pronounce the name, but a German philosopher, as a 19th century philosopher, has written so much about happiness, sorrows, and he is the one who understood the Eastern culture. He's the first Western guy who brought the teachings of Vedas and Upanishads, and he understood. And if you read his work, it is like you are reading a Bhagavad Gita, no? So this philosopher, he has given few important points that develop yourself, go to solitude and develop from time to time. Then you will understand, you will think about it, and you develop. We all know that. Bhagavan Ramakrishna Paramahansa also said, take time off, go away and meditate. Just think about yourself. Solitude is very, very important. Second thing, he said that there is nothing like happiness in the world. There is no happiness. You are fools there to look after. Absence of pain is happiness. When your sorrows go down and remove your pains, that is happiness. Happiness as an entity does not exist. It is essentially non-existent. It has absolutely no stand on its own. Only when the pain goes away, we temporarily feel that we are happy. Now, for some reason, if the COVID goes away and everything comes back to normal, we all will be joyous and happy and rejoicing. Why? Because the pain went away. So, absence of pain is happiness. Otherwise, happiness is our just delusion, illusory. It will drag you here and there, and then you will keep running till your time runs out. So this philosopher, Einstein was a contemporary of this 19th century German thinking, So that tells us that he says that do as much good as you can to as many people as you can. See, they didn't read Vedas and other things, but the theme comes up, do good, harm nobody, period, that's it, knowingly or unknowingly, and do as much good as possible, and don't hanker for this happiness. Happiness is also hankering, that is a trishna, like we saw when we talked about money last week. In Samaj we spoke about money. So Acharya said, the artham anartham bhavaya nityam na tadasti sukhalesa satyam putradapi dhanavanja biti sarvatresha vitari. Such a great Acharya says, artham anartham, money is useless. Artha means money. Anartham, which is meaningless. Artham anartham bhavaya nityam. Every day you meditate on that, so that you won't go after it. But artham anartham bhavaya nityam na tad asti sukhalesa satyam. There is not an iota of happiness there. Putradapi dhana bhanja biti. Even from their own children, the old people will be, rich people will be afraid. Putradapi dhana bhanja biti sarvatresha vitariti. And it is same every family. Don't think that I am a smart guy and my children are good, that it won't be a problem. It is sarvatresha vitariti. This is the rule, my friend. Then he says that in the same Bhaj Govindam, Mood jahi dhanagam trishna kurusat buddhim manasi vitrishna yat labse nit karmopatam vittumatena vinodaya chittam. O deluded one, mood jahi dhanagam trishna. Give up the thirst of money. Acharya doesn't say to start throwing $100 bills outside. No. Mood jahi dhanagam trishna. Kuru sat buddhim manasi vitrishna. With sat means with real, what is permanent. You fill up your mind. Kuru sat buddhim manasi vitrishna. And that thirst of money, you get rid of it. And wherever I have put you, if I made you doctor and you are doing doctor, whatever you make, with that, vittamatena vinodaya chittam, with that wealth, vinodaya means, we rejoice and be contented, So, like Acharya says, this get rid of the thirst for money. Lord Krishna says, give up the thirst for everything. So that's why we will go over that other slokas as we move forward. So that comes the next one. So that's how the Sthit Prajna section starts. It's the second chapter, 55 sloka, 55 to 72, 18 slokas. Beautiful. So God says first sloka, Prajahati yada kaman सर्वान् पार्थ मनोगतान् आत्मनेव आत्मनातुष्टा स्थित प्रज्ञस्तदा उच्यते. खत्म. He defined sthit prajna. Arjuna wanted to know who is sthit prajna and how does it look, how does he walk, how does he conduct affairs in the world. So Lord says prajahati yada kaman. Prajahati means one who has destroyed. Prajahati yada means when. Yada tada, no? There are a lot of slokas with yada tada. Prajahati yada kaman means all desires. God doesn't talk about money. There is not one word about money, no. So prajahati yada kaman sarvan means all, not 5 desires I'm giving up, but 25 I'm keeping in my pocket. No. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan parth manogatan. Where is the kaman? From man. Manogatan. Atmanev atmanatusta. And the one who is contented and happy with his own soul. Atmanev atmanatusta sthit prajna stada uchyate. That gentleman is called sthita, means steady wisdom. Sthit prajna means buddhi. Sthit prajna stada uchyate. So that is how we start. This second sloka we are going to do it today. So dukkhesu anudvigna manaha sukhesu vigata spruha with raga bhaya krodha sthita dhir muni ruchyate. There are 4-5 conditions here, no? Dukkhesu anudvigna mana. With a tragedy he doesn't get perturbed. Dukkhesu anudvigna mana. Titiksha. He has the highest degree of titiksha. Whatever happens, happens. Like King Janaka says, your kingdom is on fire. He says, let it be so. So that kind of sthit prajna. So dukkhesu anudvigna manaha. Sukhesu vigata spruha. Nor he is hankering and running after. That running after sukha is also greed. It is also kama, no? That I want to be happy, no? Just get rid of that. No? So dukkhesu anudvigna manaha sukhesu vigata. Vigata means devoid. Vigata spruha. Spruha means hankering or thirst. Dukkhesu anudvigna manaha sukhesu vigata spruha. Vitta raga bhaya krodha. And devoid of what? Vitta means devoid. Vitta raga attachment. Raga bhaya no fear. Krodha no anger. With raga bhaya krodha sthita dhir muni ruchyate. Sthita means even or steady. Dhi means buddhi. Sthita dhir muni. Muni means one who is meditating and who is trying to reach the highest. Sthita dhir muni uchyate. So dukkhesu anudvigna manaha sukhesu vigata spruha. With raga bhaya. What kind of bhaya? That bhaya that I won't get it, that is first fear, that I won't get happiness or I won't get my diploma or I won't get money or whatever kind of bhaya. And once you get it, the bhaya, what bhaya? That I will lose it. So there are 2 kinds of it. So such a yogi has no fear. So that's why God says abhaya is the highest quality. When we enumerated 26 divine qualities, we start with abhaya sattvam samsuddhi, like that. That's the advantage of memorizing these slokas. So that is because you meditate on these one, that becomes part and parcel of it. So this sloka is very good. A lot of people have memorized these sthit prajna slokas, no? Dukkhesu anudvigna manaha sukhesu vigata spruha vitta raga bhaya krodha sthita dhira muni. And then it goes on. We are going to do sthit prajna, so we will go at that time. And how do you do that? It is very difficult to do it. God gives you a trick. He gives a trick in chapter 9 and 27 sloka. He says, okay Arjuna, don't worry about this thing. You just do what I am telling you. Yat karosi, yad asnasi, yad juhosi, dadasi, yat tapasyasi konteya, tat kuru swamadarpanam. Whatever you do, yat karosi, whatever you do, wherever you are. If you are doing hysterectomy, okay. Or business, so business. So yat karosi, yad asnasi, whatever you eat. Yat juhosi, whatever you offer. Juhosi means yagna, means whatever you give to others. Yat juhosi. Dadasi yat, or charity you are doing. Yat karosi, yat dasnasi, yat juhosi, dadasi, yat tapasyasi, your austerity. Yat tapasyasi konte, tat kuru swamadarpanam, do it as an offering to me. What will happen? It is a frame of mind only, not that such a yogi doesn't get his paycheck and doesn't buy grocery from the shop. No, that is not the understanding on that. So, and then God immediately tells after that sloka, Subhasubha phale revam, that is the 28th sloka, 9 chapter 9, 28. Subhasubha phale revam, moksha se karma bandhane, Sannyas yog yuktatma vimukto mamupeshyasi. You are going to guarantee you will come to me. What did he say? Subha Sub. Sub and Asub. These are also dvandas. Subha Sub means meritorious work, or Asub means sinful work. Whatever is Subha Sub phale revam. Whatever is this fruit of your activity, Subha Sub phale revam. Moksha se karma bandhana means once you are doing it as an offering to me, that will not bind you. Moksha se karma bandhane. Sannyas yog yukt atma. Sannyas yoga means you have taken a sannyas, your mental level. Sannyas yog yukt atma, such united soul that you are doing everything for me. Sannyas yukt atma. You will definitely come to me. So subhasu phale revam moksha se karma bandhane sannyasi guptatma vimukto mam upeshyasi. So God showed you the path also. Okay, this is a path. So you are going to become a servant of God. You are going to offer everything to God. You are not going to worry about whatever happens here and there. That is immaterial to you. So that we see. Then one sloka is the next sloka is ichha dvesa samuthena dvanda mohena bharata sarvabhutani sammoham sarge anti parantapa. Arjuna, you are born with this. Everybody is born with it. Ichha dves, desire and aversion. Ichha dves samuthena Dvanda mohena, these are the pairs of opposite. Dvanda mohena bharat. They always come in pair. You cannot say, okay, I just want a good part and bear. It's a coin. You get a coin or throw it out, but you won't get only one part. Ichha dvesa samuthena dvanda mohena bharata sarva bhutani sammoham means delusion. Sammoham sargayanti parantapam. You are born with that. You are born with that. You cannot get rid of it. So first dvanda or pairs of opposite is life and death. We love life, we hate death. That is the first pair we are born with. Second pair which comes is happiness and sorrows. When we grow up little bit, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and that we get something desirable, we smile and give a nice picture, and a baby smiles and she's happy, and you take away something and baby cries and makes a tantrum. So that is another pair. So then these pairs we cultivate in our children, society cultivates, it's a whole, because everybody is going in the same group, so everybody thinks that we are going in the right direction, So these are the pairs of opposite. We cultivated it, we pampered it, we enhanced it. was like Kripaluji Maharaj, whom I'm listening a lot. He's a great Jagat Guru. So he says, "Are why are you crying about the taste? ये pizza अच्छा है, ice cream खराब है." No, he says, माँ का फीका दूध पी के तू बड़ा हुआ है. When you were born, you had a mother milk which is tasteless, and you grew up. All these acquired these things are your headaches. See, you are not born with the taste of tea or taste of wine or taste of beer or anything. No, you acquired it. I don't even like the smell of it. There's a lot of people don't like smell of beer or cigarette or something, but people acquire it over the time, and then they try to find if there is any something happiness or not. So these are all acquired things. Even the food. Some people, there are so many things that we were not exposed to, so it doesn't matter. The patients used to give me big wine bottle, and one of our friends came and said, "Atul, do you know what is this wine?" I said, "No, I don't. Some patient must have given." "Oh, it is about $500 bottle. Don't you know, you stupid man?" I said, "You can take it. I am stupid. You can take it. It is useless to me." Because there was no attachment, there is no hankering for that. No, take it away. So when that happens, then you are detached. When you develop attachment, then you are stuck with it. So the attachment also we created on our own. Detachment also we have to create on our own. So God says that do that. So Ichcha Dvesa Samuthen, and this is very important to know why life and death, why we are acting the way we are acting, because the inherent preservation of species or life is our first urge. So that urge works on our intellect, and intellect creates these desires which are very conducive to my safety and security. So I found the answer, that because of our inherent nature, selfish nature of keeping ourselves alive and our loved ones alive, it worked on intellect. Desires are produced in intellect. So intellect produces desire and justifies that this is worth doing it. Okay. So it produces a desire only which is favorable to my safety, security and comfort. That's why intellect makes that judgment and tells mind, okay, start working now. So mind orders to the sense organs and says, okay, start and go and get this and get that, and all activities, though all our indriyas became active. But it started from intellect. So now God says that intellect, you use it for divinity. So you don't create this selfish desire, create divine desires. And mind is so fertile that it can give you the best crop, depends upon what you sow there. If you throw divine seeds, divinity will be plentiful. So God says, throw the divine seeds into your fertile brain and meditate on this, and you will feel the divinity inside as well as outside. So then a lot of good will happen. So the process we all have to do on our own, or just accept as it is. Some people say that what's wrong with the life? No, I'm comfortable, I'm a doctor, I have so much thing and enjoy. No, what else? No, but that you got a very ordinary gain in life, while the possibility was there to touch God. God says you wasted that possibility and you were happy with few diplomas and little money here and there. No, so that is that also happened. We did the same thing in achieving the worldly thing. The same thing we have to do to achieve godly thing. So that is another sloka. And okay, and all right. So I will conclude. No, otherwise we can go on. And the last one we will see. That is on the 15th sloka 5. Beautiful sloka. Nirmana moha jit sanga dosha आध्यात्म नित्या विनिवृत कामा द्वंद्वै विमुक्ता सुख दुख संगे गच्छन्ति मूढ़ा पदमम अवयम तत्. This is a different meter of slokas. There are four lines, no? So nirman moha means, nirman means without vanity. Nirman moha means no delusion. Nirman moha jit sanga dosha, one who has conquered these defects of dvandas. Jit sanga dosha. Adhyatma nitya vinivruta kama, devoid of all the desire. Vinivruta kama. Dvandai vimukta, all pairs of opposite he has abolished them. Dvandai vimukta. Sukha dukkha sangha, born out of sukha and dukkha. Sukha dukkha. Gachanti amudha padamam avanta. Such people, gachanti amudha means the one who has got rid of the delusion. No? Mudha means one who is deluded. Amudha means the man of knowledge. Gachanti mudha padamam avamtat. You will come to me. So that is God. God shows that there is nothing like unhappiness, there is nothing like sorrow. It is all in our mind with a true inquiry. The same happenings will become less traumatic. So that is the practical advantage. No, we always say, what is the tangible thing? No, how can tangible thing that you won't get disturbed, you won't be miserable, you will be more balanced. So you will help your relatives, you will help your friend, you will help your family. In a family, everybody is a nervous wreck. Then you will have a chaos. Then you will be going to a psychiatrist, one after the other. Or this remote. Online you have to consult, because no, I'm depressed and I'm agitated, I don't know what to do, and crying will start. So that is the practical game. But gain is much more than we expect. Just we have to keep doing that, and Gita teaches us so much step by step. And if anybody has any question or any because we all have our opinions. Because we grew up and we all have our own understanding of these things. So it is not going to get easily to us. So if you have a question, you can ask, but otherwise we will meet next time. Thank you very much. Thank you.